Well, the IIFT date has been announced, and in this short video, we'll look at the eligibility, the exam fees, the paper pattern, the form filling credentials and guidelines, and more importantly, the date of the exam. So here we go straight into what is probably one of the best institutes for international business. The IIFT, situated in Delhi. Now, of course, they also have in Kolkata and Kakinada. The course is an MBA, International Business, probably the first in the entire country. There are others like now, like for example, MDI Gurgaon has a PGP in International Business. You have SIIB in Pune, which also has International Business, and a few others. The exam is to get into this IIFT, a very coveted institute, if I would call it, and probably the top 10 requires you to write an exam. The expected cutoffs I'm kind of giving you early enough, 120, but we'll figure it out. The fees are about 18.24 lakhs. 120 plus, out of what? Just hold on and check. The placement statistics, which is what kinds of attracts people to this, is that it has been having an average CTC of more than 20 lakhs every year. And last year, it was close to 25 lakhs per annum. The international goes up even to 80 lakhs per annum because obviously it's an international trade college. What is the entrance examination? The first important thing is it's a computer-based exam, and the campuses are located at New Delhi, Kolkata, and Kakinada. The registration for IIFT starts on the 30th of September and ends on the 14th of November. The most important thing, the exam is on the 18th of December 2022. It is exactly 3 weeks after the CAT 2022 exam, which is on 27th of November. What are the eligibility criteria? Is similar for all in schools in the country. 3 years minimum degree, or if you can obviously have a 4-year, 5-year, etc. kind of things. 50% minimum, 45% for the others. That is SC, ST, and other categories. The important thing is if you are in the final year, you can also apply. However, you have to submit the proof of completion on the 7th of October 2023. That is next year. You would have joined the school by then, but if you don't submit it, your admission will be automatically nullified. The interesting thing, like for CAT and for other all MBA schools, there is no age limit for this. The fees, very simple, 2,500 rupees if you're a general category, OBC, or an EWS category, and a few other categories. If you're an SC, ST, or a PWD or a third gender, you have 1,250, half of it. But if you're a foreign national or an NRI, the non-resident Indian, you will have to pay up 15,000 rupees or $200. GST are to be paid with the candidate wherever it is applicable. What is the pattern? Very quickly, before I go to the pattern, the date of examination, let's regroup. 18th of July, beg your pardon, 18th of December 2022, 2 hours exam. It's a computer-based, completely English, multiple choice questions. The most important thing is there are 4 sections, of which the 3 of them, all of us know: the quantitative ability, the reading comprehension and verbal ability, and the data interpretation and logical reasoning, very much like the CAT. 25 questions, 35 and 30, put together 90, and general awareness, 20 questions. The scores, the correct marking answer is +3 for every correct answer for the first 3 sections, and -1 for every wrong answer. Whereas for general awareness, it's 20 questions, 30 marks total. So if you talk about the top 90 questions, it gives you 270 marks. And the 20 questions in general awareness gives you 20 to 1.5, 30 marks. The paper is for 300. Total number of questions, 110. And we have seen the cutoff for a general category is about 120. There are other categories, like if you're a girl, you will get it lesser than that. If you are NCOBC and SC, ST, the scores will be much lower. But 120 out of 300, or even if you make it a little higher, depending on the paper difficulty level, it is only 40% of the entire exam score. That makes it definitely achievable if you start preparing very seriously. Now let's look at very closely what are the ways to ensure that you fill the form without any mistakes. It's if you have already filled the CAT or the ZAT or any other exam, it's very simple. But we will also look at how to make sure that there are no mistakes that we do in the IIFT form. First, it's conducted by NTA, obviously. Therefore, the URL is ift.nta.nic.in. Once you open a new window, you can get into a new registration. Once you get new registration, you will see this is what you will find. If it's a new registration, you will have to go into reading, of course, instructions and making sure that you get all the information right. You will know the information in terms of how much payment, etc., to be made. Now, once you click to proceed, what you get is the basic information: the candidate name, the father's name, the mother's name, date of birth, gender, type of identification that you could plan to show, and the identification of if it's an Aadhaar card or a PAN card, etc. The present address with all the information that needs to be shown. Then once that is done, you agree and submit, you get an OTP. Once you fill the OTP, you will finish the registration basically. Once the registration is filled, that is when you need to enter the OTP received so as to ensure that you submit the registration form once again by checking all the information correctly. Once the application form is complete, then you go to the registration form is complete, then you go to the application form. There are three parts of it. Of course, the registration, application, and the fee payment. Application, obviously, when you look at the contact details, that is done. Personal details will be the next one that you need to come back with. So gender, and again, some of the information which will be asked you to attempt. Aadhaar details will be asked, whether you like it or not. Every one of us has to give Aadhaar, the KYC kind of things. Exam city preferences. Now, important thing here is you are expected to give at least 4 preferences for that. In fact, compulsory to give 4 cities. You can't say I will give only 1 or 2. All the 4 city choices are given, but they have added something called a security pin that you can see that needs to be entered to submit and go to the save and go to the next. Once you save, you go to the academic details form, your equivalent. Now, here are some of the questions that people ask. Sir, what should I write? 10th class, what is the total marks? What is obtained marks and your total percentage marks obtained? Here, because there is no specific information given to you in terms of whether you should take the best 5 or all the scores, you take what your board gives. Remember one thing, unlike CAT, the IIFT will just call you on the shortlist is only going to be on the scores and not on the 10th, 12th and degree marks. And hence, you don't have to worry too much about, hey, what am I giving? Am I giving that best 5 that my board looks at it, or all the subjects which are there in your the board marks as such. Now, here is what I would say as a simple suggestion. Give the best of whatever you have. If the best 5 gives you the best score, obviously that will be what you will write it. But if you feel that if your board takes 5, but by giving 6, which are, let's say, an optional subject, if you add that 6, and that is your better percentile percentage, you please give that. Similarly, the 12th and equivalent marks have to be given. Once you enter security and save next, you go to the next part of it. Then there is an employment details. You can add if you are employed. If you are employed, you will ask more questions. Again, the security pin will be given. And once you confirm, you will go to the next part of it. And the next part of it is your passport size and a photograph. Remember the signature. The photograph is a 200 KB, up to 200 KB is what you can put it. Make sure that, see, if you have already used it for your CAT, you don't have to worry about it. It's exactly the same. And the signature should be between 4 KB and 30 KB. If you are a category student or a PWD student, you are expected to upload this in the PDF format very clearly. Make sure that you do this either the category or a PW certificate. You can choose the file and upload it very simply. Once again, the security pin, click save and next. You go to the, by saying a yes, you confirm it completely. At the end of it, you will be asked to review the page. One of the important things that is required, and lots of people don't do this, is that they don't review what they have put in. It is always important that you review before you click on the final submit. Check all the information before payment of the exact fees. So make sure that with the test date is, the date of birth is correct, your gender is correct, your father's name is correct, your mother's name is correct, your category is correct, the residence UT is correct, or state is correct. A lot of other things that are there. Make sure that one by one you check everything, including the annual family, and then you will click and submit. Check your photograph, certificates, everything at the next level. Once you do this, once you agree with the checkbox and click on the final submission, you will finish that. It will still say verify your email ID and again enter OTP. What the IIFT guys have done it is kind of made it idiot proof, making sure that you can't make mistakes. Once you do that, you will see this screen here. The registration form has to be filled, or it shows completed. Then you say the application form is completed too. And that is then you go to fee payment completely. Remember, one more important thing here, your email ID is yet to be verified. If it is not verified, that means on the mail, you will get a link. You need to click on that to make sure that it is verified. That also will come as a verification. Keep that in mind. And then finally, obviously, you need to pay your examination fees. Once you pay, the mode of payment, online payment, you look at which gateway you will use, maybe the ICICI Bank Gateway for all the debit cards, credit cards, UPI, net banking, of anything. Once you pay, just make sure that you are paid the correct amount. 2,500 for a general category student, or in SC/ST it will be 1,250, and so on and so forth for a category. Once you do that, that's it. You then start preparing. I hope you have already started prepared, but at least now, in right earnest, you need to prepare for this IIFT exam. It's a very, very good institute, worth going to. All the very best until we see you again. Thank you.